Welcome to the first episode of the Pick and Pop podcast presented by Big Apple Basketball, BAB. I'm your host, Chris Williams, aka Uncle Smoothie. It is my pleasure. I'm excited to lead you on this journey where I'm going to share some of my wisdom and learn from you. Today, we'll be chopping it up with my boy, Jason Curry. No relation to Steph, but he's an excellent point guard. My guest is one of my favorite guys, and we're going to talk about the topic today, the importance of good mentors. Jason has a long list of so many things I can get into about him, but I'm going to just go over a couple of things that stand out to me as his friend and just a guy who looks to him as leadership. He's a relentless competitor. We'll touch on that. Extremely resourceful. If he gets to his phone, he'll contact anybody you need. The CEO and founder of Big Apple Basketball, as I said earlier, BAB. I'm going to bring on my good friend, Jason Curry, our guest, and we're going to rap a little bit about the importance of mentors, the importance of good mentors. And Jason, can you come on here, brother? Let the people see who you are, Jason Curry.
Chris Williams, I'm with you, man. So good to see you.
Always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to chop it up with you. You know I'm down here in sunny West Palm Beach. You're up in New York City. First thing about being a mentor, Jason, watching you, working with you, is this something that's born or is it learned behavior, being a good mentor?
Hold up, Uncle Smoothie. We got to take a step back. We definitely got to give a shout out to the group at North Road Communications, man, for putting this idea. Obviously,
no doubt.
Not getting all the love up here right now, but North Road Communications, this is their baby. This is their idea. They pitched it to me. You know, I'm happy to be a part of it, and I'm so thankful that you offered to host this, man. So can't forget NRC up at Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York.
No question about it. Big shout outs to Carmela and my man Tom, both of them doing a phenomenal job getting this thing started.
Yeah, so as far as mentoring, man, fortunately for me, I grew up here in Queens, New York, having a lot of mentors, man. But what's so crazy is that I didn't really realize that I had mentors at a young age because, I think, for me in particular, growing up, I didn't grow up around the term people saying, using the term mentors, I'm your mentor. I didn't go out necessarily seeking to learn from mentors. It was just kind of like guys in the neighborhood who really took a liking to me, took me under their wing and showed me life, and whether it be coaches, so I think now, one of the things that we use a lot is mentoring. But for me, like at an early age, I never considered it mentors. I called it, OGs from the hood that were just really showing me the ropes, So I think, being able to be blessed from the standpoint of having so many, men and women pour into me at an early age, and not only pour into me, but then never quitting on me during my difficulties in life, really just kind of, catapulted me to the point of wanting to help young people. And it's something that I do, pretty naturally based upon, how I grew up.
Look at the one thing I talked about, you being a relentless competitor. I know by working with you and how you work with young people, where does that competitiveness come from? Is that from someone who mentored you, or that was something that you always have been?
Yeah, so, I think ironically, I really grew into my level of competitiveness, and some people even say, like having a dog. And, yes. A lot of, from a basketball standpoint, our background, most people say, either you have it or you don't. It's not something that you can teach. And I think that is true to some extent. But I think that you can really teach and train people how to be competitive and how to train to get a competitive advantage. And I think for me, I've always wanted to win, but I think that once I got to college, it really just got to another level of a burning desire to win in everything and beyond basketball to the point where now I could really admit that I probably overdid it a little bit, at times, I'll give you an extreme example. I remember one time my senior year of college, and by this point, I'm feeling like I'm the best player on the team. And guys were choosing teams and I wasn't the first pick of the, guys, whatever. I got first pick. And I wasn't the first pick. And it was like one of the first times I can remember in a long time, like not being the first pick. And I was pissed to the point where, like, I told guys I didn't even want to play if I wasn't the first pick. And I let them pick everybody in the team. And I remember going up in the locker room and throwing chairs around all the locker room. But again, like I was so mad that I wasn't the first pick that then what I went out and did was I went back down to the court. And I didn't want to play with any of the starters. I picked up the 3 walk-ons on the team and one other guy who barely played. And I won like 3 straight games with those guys, talking. But it was just my level of competitiveness and desire.
Right.
Just like that's really like how I've really grown into it. And I'm trying to learn how to tailor it down a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, like and no matter. I mean, you see me, ping pong, Monopoly, bowling,
everything.
It doesn't, like I'm trying to get in your head to get an advantage, because ultimately I'm trying to do whatever it needs to do to gain a competitive advantage to win, and that's what makes me happy.
Now, when you're working with people, Jason, you brought up a great point. Is that something you try to teach, or is it something you try to get at them and they learn it themselves?
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of both. And again, we've had the fortune of being able to work together, man. And you and I, started working together with our Big Apple Basketball Summer Youth Program in 2018. So I think it's a combination of trying to teach. But then one of the things that I think that I do personally, and we all have our different gifts that we bring to the table in terms of trying to teach and help. But, one of the things that I personally try to do is create a competitive environment. So
right.
Like now we're doing the workout. We're not just going through the motion of practicing, which is important, but now what's the next level? How can we implement this into a specific portion of drills where I get to see what you would really be like in a game?
Mm-hmm.
How do you react when it gets difficult? How do you react when you win? How do you react, like when it's crunch time? Are you one of the people that, if game is 8, you make your first 7 and then, you just can't make the winning shot. But again, these are all things that really, to me, you need to practice, because it leads to a level of comfort and you're able to it lends itself to a certain level of success when you get in these game situations because you've been prepared for it.
Now, that is great, Jay. How about your resourcefulness? When I talked about you being resourceful, we had a situation, quick story. Jason, anytime you talk to him about something.
I know you're going to remix this story a little bit, so I'm going to let you tell
Let me remix it, and then we'll give you the second remix. You're the guest. You have the second say. Again, Jason and I are having a conversation, and we bring up someone's name. And I guess Jason has to make sure you really know that person, because, again, he knows everyone. Jason's one of those people. It's 6 degrees of Jason Curry. He'll figure out a way to contact someone somehow through his phone book, which is very similar to an encyclopedia or Rolodex that has everybody in it who can get to the next person. So I'm telling Jason about someone. Again, I made a mistake possibly on their name. He calls them right there in my presence. I've been very fortunate. He's done this 2 or 3 times to me, but each time I've come out on the positive end. But jokingly, I say that story, but you know so many people and you're never afraid to ask questions. And I think that's an excellent trait to be a mentor to teach mentees.
Yeah, and tying in with that, Chris, I think so many times for us as adults, when we're put in a position of influence around young people, I think so many times that it's looked at, what can we do for them? What can we teach them? But I'm sure this is that, the beauty of being, someone seasoned, someone with experience, and someone as a mentor is that a lot of times we come out of those situations being blessed with as much knowledge and being able to grow in our own specific capacity the same way that the younger people are able to grow. So I think it's not so much even us getting caught up into what we can do for others and what we can do for young people. But the reality is that a lot of times we get around young people and we wound up, gaining knowledge or becoming inspired in a lot of ways in which we didn't even realize.
Well, Jay, excellent point. Again, secondary, we talked about you being a class act. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
I
And you
appreciate
do something that's very unique that I've never done with anyone else that I've worked with, but it should be done on a regular basis. We've prayed on different occasions before we've started a project. Where did that come from, Jason? And having the courage to be able to do that outwardly.
Yeah, so I think for me, I've always had leadership traits. So I wouldn't necessarily think of, in terms of, me being a man of faith and and wanting to pray and needing to pray and knowing that's who I've developed into. It was never anything that I ever thought of as far as like needing courage to do. It's just kind of like who I am. And in everything that I've done, whether it be from a little kid, whether it be high school, college, developing Big Apple basketball, I've always been someone that has had ideas and wanted to do something. And one of the ways that, I've really, been blessed is without really putting forth much effort, being able to have people just kind of follow me and gravitate into what I do. So I think, and kind of, what you're saying as far as the prayers, it was just kind of something that just came natural. Like, this is what I do. Do you want to do it with me? And fortunately, you're a man of faith. And, when we were around our other coaches, all of our other coaches, whether it be me, you, or Roman, or Sean Grant, or Corey, and Bria, and Kiara, it was something that, I didn't know where anyone stood on it, but I offered it, and everyone was game for it. So that was beautiful. But, for me, prayer and God and my faith is just such a strong part of who I've who I've become, really seriously since 2017. And I find that, that's just my base, man. And it's just so important to kind of set the tone, from a spiritual and from a faith standpoint, in letting God lead everything that we do, not just waking up in the morning, not just going to sleep at night, not just when I get in trouble, not just when I need money or need this or need, but just, praying for things in terms of success. And to be completely transparent, when you started this and I was waiting for you to intro me, I was praying for the intro, to just kind of, bless this entire project, man. And it's a beautiful thing.
Well, thank you so much. Prayer is always needed. Appreciate you putting that out forward and others willing to follow your lead. With that being said, as a good mentor, most people think of someone always speaking, guiding, and leading. Watching you, you're a very good listener and you're willing to ask for assistance. You don't try to do everything by yourself. And I've noticed you're big on team, big on help. You always want to get the group together. Where does that come from? And how does that assist in you being a very good mentor?
Yeah, so I think that, I've learned that, I started Big Apple basketball in 1999. So this is basically 21 years of me having my own company.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. And I'm thankful to have you a part of it. And I think, I was able to learn things my last 2 years of college when I was the captain of my college basketball team, so I think I was able to learn certain leadership skills there, but one of the biggest things that I've learned, to your point, is that, you can't do everything yourself, like you'll personally get burnt out trying to do everything yourself, and one of my friends, Vaughn Richmond, man, he has, to me, the greatest quote that anyone has ever told me in terms of needing assistance. And he said to me, Jason, you can't clap with one hand.
Ooh.
And it, I love it. You can't clap with one hand. You need help.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
There's no noise.
Gotcha.
And in order to make an impact, you need help. And I'm not afraid to ask for help. And I think, there's also beauty in being able to allow other people a responsibility in terms of what we do to allow them to grow, because I'm a big part of not just doing everything that I say, but also trying to cultivate other people around me to enhance and grow their leadership skills, and again, that's something I've grown into, of 21 years of running my own business. Hasn't always been smooth. It hasn't always been easy, but in terms of me being here as a founder and president in 2021, I mean, there's there's nothing better than having a group and a team around me to not only support what I do, but me to try to help other people from a mentoring and leadership standpoint as well.
Well, the most important word in the English language is we. You can't do anything outstanding, amazing, awesome, over the top without anyone assisting. You can be really good by yourself, but to get to that next level, you need others to help you out. Glad to hear you say that. I know you talked about Big Apple basketball. Just give us a little history on that. Like I said, you have so many accolades. I wanted to touch on some that I thought would bring out the mentorship. But again, Big Apple basketball is tremendous. It's helped so many people.
Yeah. So Big Apple Basketball started in 1999. We're a non-for-profit organization designed to use basketball as a tool to assist young people in their athletic, academic, professional, and life skill development, while also putting together family and community-focused programs and events. So we work with young kids. We work with high school players, college players, professional players. Everything really stemming around, the beautiful game of basketball, but then also, within the dynamic of which each group is particularly going through in their lives, how can we use basketball to impact them and to influence them, whether it be mentoring, whether it be, helping them get college scholarships, whether it be, helping them get summer jobs and internships, comically to your point, how can I use my Rolodex to be able to assist everyone connected to me? How can we use some of these older players to come back and be, big brothers and big sisters and mentors? I mean, there's just so much, that we can do, basically, utilizing our relationships, in life, and a lot of these relationships that we've been able to develop in basketball to be able to help people. And that's really what I've done with Big Apple Basketball.
For all my basketball heads out there, Jason, name some of the pros, professional NBA players who come through Big Apple Basketball. I know there's a long laundry list, but give us some guys that would say, wow, that person played in the BAB?
Yeah, man, I'm almost embarrassed right now because this is a project that Carmela and Tom just actually helped me with. And whenever I get on the spot, I always struggle because there's so many, but they actually just
give me 3 or 4.
Well, I was about to say they actually just did a feature story a couple of weeks ago, and there were 15 players in the NBA bubble, in the playoffs, who have come through our program. So I definitely know, starting with the championship Lakers, it was Danny Green.
Nice.
Danny Green, your boy from Philly. Oh, gee, was Dion
Waiters, yes.
Man, Markieff Morris, another Philly guy. Kemba Walker. Isaiah Thomas, the young fella on the Denver Nuggets, point guard Jamal Murray.
Okay, nice.
Thon Maker. But yeah, there's probably about 30 players in the NBA this year that have participated in different programs that we've hosted. And it's beautiful not only to talk about, acknowledge those high level players, but then I take as much enjoyment out of the players who went Division III,
right,
who still stay in contact with me, who I'm able to hoop with playing pickup basketball now, who are mentors, or my guy Franklin Collier, who's a big shot over at Slam Magazine that came through our program as a youngster, who I helped him get an internship at Slam Magazine when he was in college, and now he's propelled that into a great career. So I mean, there's so many people, but of course the NBA guys are the ones who are able to to go the farthest in terms of their basketball talent and ability.
Well, Jay, you have a unique ability to connect with older players and younger players. Do you have a preference? Do you prefer to work with the young guys or the older guys? Or young ladies? Let me make that clear. You work with young ladies also. Let's make that clear.
Absolutely. Yep. So my personal preference is the older players.
Okay.
The older, and when the NBA, the pro, the overseas, I definitely prefer working with older players because I love to get into more advanced things. But I can say from a developmental standpoint, when I first started Big Apple Basketball, I actually started working with pros and then basically tailored the program down to scale it down to work with younger kids. But what's happened is by working with younger players, it's really developed me more as a coach, specifically in terms of my patience. So, I for a long time, I really tried to stay away from working with kids because I always just wanted to move. I want to get in my bag and just, do the most advanced things as possible. And the older players like working with me as well. But once I started working with the younger kids, I realized that as much as I didn't initially like it, when I look back, it actually molded me into a more well-rounded coach.
And let's make this clear. Jason is the king of drills. He'll put you on the spot. He'll figure out a drill out of the air. Let's put the ball on your shoulder, run with one ball in your other hand, shoot with your right hand if you're lefty. If you're lefty, shoot with, come on, Jay. But no, you do a tremendous job. Again, enjoyed working with you. I'm going to close out because my shirt says maximize your value, Jay. I know you still play. I know you're sharp. What's going on with you as far as a player? I know you have been nursing an injury. Where are you as of today, November 2nd, Jason Curry, being able to play? Because I know you're very competitive. We talked about that. Getting out there, going against some young guys, older guys. Where are you right now?
Oh, I'm undoubtedly, unquestionably the best player on the Big Apple basketball staff.
I love it.
Yourself included, Corey Coleman, Bria, Sean Grant, hey, Roman, I know you're out there doing drills. It doesn't matter, Roman. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but no. All jokes aside, man.
No, that's not a joke. That's classic Jason. That's not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. I told you earlier, this guy's relentless and he's a competitor. That's not a joke. That's a poke, and I caught it. Keep it going.
He said, "Keep it going."
Keep it coming.
You try to charge me up and get me in trouble, man. So
I want the true Jason Curry. That's it. I know you got your shirt on, buttoned up to the top. Okay. You want to be professional. Come on out, Jason Curry. I've seen you in the gymnasium.
Okay, Chris.
You're a talker.
Loosen it up okay,
loosen
Chris.
Up, please.
You win. You got me. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna talk about how I've been kicking Corey's behind in the gym the past couple of weeks. Let me get back to the question. Let me get back to the question.
Yes.
So one of the things that I really enjoy, and you've seen it, I love getting in the drills with the players, man. And again, I think we all bring something different to the table. But, for me, part of, what I think that I bring is one of the things I always tell players is use me as your example. Look how hard I'm going. Look how serious I'm taking this, So I shouldn't be beating you in sprints. I shouldn't be beating you in suicides. Listen to how I'm talking. Watch how I'm focusing. So part of it is, the reality, Chris, is that basketball is really the only thing I like to do for exercise. I don't like to really run. I don't like to go to the gym. So part of it is I do this because this is for my health. But then secondly, it gives me an opportunity to still be able to go out there and compete, man. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop. You already got the first two buttons in my collar.
Oh, that's good stuff. You know what? Let's give a baseline because some people may be asking, well, is this guy really that good? You're a Hall of Famer in high school. Let's go over that. Am I correct?
Yep.
Good information.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. So 2 years ago, I was inducted into, in 2019, I was inducted into the Hall of Fame at Cheshire Academy, where I spent my senior year of high school.
Hall of Famer in college also, correct?
Yep. In 2009, I was inducted into the St. Michael's College Hall of Fame. And, I had a great career there. I was a 4-year starter. Most importantly, I got my degree in broadcast journalism in 4 years, but I was a 4-year starter. I graduated. If you can see that basketball up there behind me, I graduated as the college's all-time assist leader. I graduated number 1 in all-time three-point field goal percentage. I believe I was, number 1 all-time free throw percentage.
You don't believe, No.
No. I used to know these exactly, but now there's a couple that's 2 or 3, that I can't remember. But I definitely know when I graduated, I was number 3 in steals, and there was something else number 2. But I remember in total there were 5, records that I was able to personally graduate with. And, it was a great experience. St. Michael's is a Division II school in Vermont, so, from an individual standpoint, I was able to go up there and have a very good career. And, and the other thing, aside from the basketball standpoint, was that I was also able to cultivate a lot of great relationships that, propelled me at one point to being on the college's alumni board of directors. I'm still heavily involved with the college. So overall, from a student athlete standpoint, it was great.
And Junior Nick Coach of the Year, which I
Yeah.
think is huge.
Yep. Oh, man, but hold on. Let's go back to my stats. Hold on.
Let's hear it.
Chris, I don't know if you know Chris. I don't know if you know this, Chris.
I'm going to find out now.
Hold on. In college, my junior year, I was 9th in the country in 3-point field goal percentage. Shot 48% from three. And then that same year, I was 15th in the country in free throw percentage, which I'm sure you can believe that. But yeah. Last year in 2019, I was honored as the Junior Knicks Coach of the Year for my work in the New York City metropolitan area with kids. And then also I was honored as the 2019 Junior NBA National Coach of the Year. So
nice.
I've really been blessed to be blessed by a lot of people in my life. But then, the beautiful part of it is where I'm at right now is that, I'm also blessed to be a blessing to others. And, the awards and all of these things, are great. But, quite frankly, I'd be doing this whether I was recognized or not.
Well, Jay, that is great stuff. You and I could talk for hours. Just due to the context of the show, we're going to have to close it out. Want to thank you so much. Continue to be a blessing. Bless others, and you will receive the fruits as you're doing right now. I can't wait to get back to New York City where we can link up. You got to remember, I'm a 6'4" point guard. Again, we just do drills. I like to get between the lines and play games. Just put that in your mental Rolodex, all right? You can check my stats. This was not about me. We're going to get between the lines, 6'4" point guard. That's a little different. I'm not sure if you're used to handling that. But, Jay, thank you so much, man. You are a class act.
Let everyone know, too. Uncle Smoothie, the Hall of Famer as well. Division I Hall of Famer.
It's not about Uncle Smoothie. This is Jay Curry, my man. No relation to Steph, but he's still an excellent point guard. He might have a good enough handle to play at that next level. This guy can dribble with his eyes closed, all that stuff. Classic Jay Curry. Want to give another shout out to Carmela and Tom, orchestrating, giving the assist. I want everyone to be safe out there. You continue to be safe, Jay. Make sure you vote. I took care of my business. That has to be done. Everybody stand up, vote. Positive energy is a gift, and be a giver. Uncle Smoothie is out. Thank you so much, everyone.